Cool. So the next thing you had mentioned on here was, some strategies in terms of avoiding out of stock. There's basically two classes of vessels. There's kind of your standard speed and then high speed, I guess, is probably the best way to just kind of put it
Sure.
at a high level. We've actually never booked the high speed vessels because it is more expensive, but certainly something we've been asking for quotes for lately and having to consider just because it every day matters at this point, especially this time of year. So maybe you can just explain quickly what the difference is between those two vessels, what the cost difference is, and the time savings.
Yeah, sure. So if you're looking to win on terms of transit times, one look at there's just quick ocean option, and a lot of times it's used for LCLs actually. The rates are going to be higher. It's going to be definitely less expensive than air, right? So if you're running out of stock, you want to be considering this option, right? And then also it's easier to get space allocations. So we've even seen so I know I just recommended to consolidate from LCLs to FCLs, but that's if you're looking for cost savings, right? If you're looking for speed, we've even seen people actually go from FCLs down to LCLs to get that quicker space allocations and quicker transit.
And what is the difference in terms of the high speed versus standard in terms of number of days on the water?
So it's about 5 days. I want to say about. So it's the quick boat. It takes about 12, 13 days or so, and then normal say like 18 to 12 to 20. But then also you have to consider just all the delays with the normal kind of boats can go through. So anyway, just putting it on the speedboat kind of. From experience, it does give you a much quicker transit time. So somehow there's maybe like a special booking with the port, or somehow just like avoiding congestion, avoiding that kind of crazy processing at the port of arrival. We're seeing relatively quick transit times with the speedboats. Or like fast boats.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that. So the faster boat's about a week faster on the water, but you're saying they also get preference and priority clearance at the port as well, so they're skipping some of the congestion?
So that's my understanding. So it's just like seeing seeing the transit time just being a lot quicker for LCLs versus normal, like your typical FCLs, which is actually also very odd, right? So historically, LCLs has always been slower than full containers because you have to consolidate, then you have to deconsolidate. So now, we are seeing these LCL options that are faster than FCL, because of that kind of faster routing, and then also just faster processing through the port.
Gotcha. Okay, very cool. So the next thing you had on your list here, which I could not agree with more, we did this back in like 2016, which is to hire an expert to do high-level inventory management, someone who's got a background on this and is if not working on this full time, but certainly spending every hour that they need to in their schedule to optimize this as much as possible. The person we hired, our COO, had a background on doing this at a Fortune 500 company, and just uses Excel and numbers in a way that was just completely over my head, and built us a much tighter logistics and inventory planning system. And unfortunately, all the variables have changed, and so we're still on our toes right now, just trying to figure out what to do. Plug in different variables in terms of lead times and transit times and all these different things. But at the end of the day, again, she's on top of it all the time and making sure that that we're doing the best that we can. So some additional thoughts on this and who to look for to manage this for you.
Exactly. So just just running things fluently at an expert level, and just being able to have a good system in place, right? So we from kind of high level, I think most shippers or like importers understand what needs to be done, right? But it is in details, and it is in details of how you look at things like your overall like KPIs, like how many days worth of stock you want to have in your overall supply chain. And that is, I would say, one of the most important KPIs, and you want to be kind of flexible and adjusting it to the season, right? To any delays that are happening that can be foreseen, right? To any delays that are happening that maybe that which we can classify as like unforeseen delays, right? Just break it down your supply chain into sections or into different like legs of supply chain. Right, so like how many days does it take for your supplier to produce, like including potential delays? Like, well, how much time does it take to do the quality check? How much does it take today? How much time does it take today to like book a container? Get it to the United States. Like how much stock do you want to have within Amazon? How much stock do you want to have within 3PL? So just like looking at the entire supply chain and we do recommend to do it on a weekly basis, just to have a good, accurate snapshot of your inventory on a regular basis. A weekly is optimal, as we've I just highly recommend to do it as often as 1 week, as each week, right? Just to have that kind of great level of control in terms of how much inventory you have, like when to reorder, how much to reorder, when to send stuff into Amazon. Also look at your sales trends, like how are those changing, and just like really be proactive in terms of what you're doing. But then also like if you're seeing some changes in sales, you also kind of react to that and be able to react to that in a timely manner before you're out of stock.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. So the next one on here is pretty simple. So we'll just quickly mention, you mentioned on here, a shop for rates every time. It's easy to get complacent. You find a freight forwarder that you like working with. I know that we have. You get a relationship with them over 2, 3, 4 years. But a couple things happen in this scenario. Like if you're using them every single time and they know that you're comfortable, they slowly can inch the rates up, and you don't really even notice it or feel it. But in a time like right now, where things are just hyper competitive, it's really good to have relationships with multiple freight forwarders, which luckily we do. Just from years of running EcomCrew, it's one of the people always ask, like, why do you do this stuff? Well, this is one of the reasons why. You get great relationships with people that can help you in these situations. And so I can't stress enough, like, try to have a relationship with 2, 3, 4 freight forwarders, get them all to quote, let them know that that's what you're doing. You're not trying to be a jerk by constantly shopping it around. It's just that things are, when you're talking about the difference between $3,500 and $3,600, it's different, right? I mean, for us, I would just pay the extra $100 because I'm a relationships guy. But right now, you could be talking the difference between $15,000 and $20,000, or having to wait an extra week or two or not. The availability that each freight forwarder has is different. Some of them are pulling from different pools, and it's just really important to have these relationships. So I think that's probably all we need to say about that, just in the interest of time.